This video is intended for a mature audience only. If you're a kid, please go away. Hello everybody, Loto for Life here with Codemaster Connor. Really big Discord user and a big fan of the channel. Connor, want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, it's Codemaster Connor here. I've been around the game since it started. Been collecting since then. Working towards a full collection. Love the game, and hopefully we can talk about state of it and what we're looking forwards to, and just chaotic in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys seem to really like the previous Chaoticast, as I've been kind of calling it. I don't know. I kind of saying it out loud. It actually rolls off the tongue a lot better than I thought it would.
Yeah, I like the name.
Thanks. So speaking of your collection, you told me a little bit about it before, but would you like to talk about it for the video?
Yeah, sure. Like I said, I've been collecting for a really long time. I've got every card that was released in booster boxes. Luckily, I was collecting whenever cards were pretty cheap. Sealed packs were pretty cheap. But I've got just, thousands of commons and supers that I'd love to sell and get rid of. Sometimes I give away cards. Uh, but I've also got a sealed collection. I have every booster box sealed.
Oh, dang.
There's no telling what a few of these would go for. Alliances Unraveled, there's no telling what that goes for.
Oh, God. Just going off the top of my head, I bought a box, quote. It was 24 packs. Somebody sold it to me. Keep in mind, this is about 2 years ago, before the prices started going even crazier.
Yeah.
It was like $150 for that, and I saw an actual sealed box at the same time for like 200. And so that was just 2 years ago, before the prices got crazy.
Right.
So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen one, like you said, in years, so I have no clue what it goes for. And like Dawn of Param Seal, that's probably a pretty penny too.
Oh yeah.
But I've also got some of the starter deck sealed. That's not like super hard to find. There's probably still some on eBay.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got like the DVDs and some of the figures and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've been working on it for, gosh, over 10 years now. So it's been really fun.
Yeah. Personally, I would love to be able to go about doing that, but money.
Right. Yeah. Nowadays, if you're starting from square one, it would be really hard.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, heck, there's an IFLAR on eBay right now for $700.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh God.
Yeah. I was lucky enough to pull one out of a pack, so there we go.
Yep. Personally, I'm probably going to invest in some Turn of the Tide packs, because I know for a fact I'm never going to be able to trade for one and all that.
Yeah, there's no telling what you'd have to trade for one.
Oh, God. Especially with how inflated the prices are now.
Yeah.
Jesus. I mean, I hate to say it, but 300 sounds more reasonable.
Yeah. As crazy as that is to say, that sounds pretty reasonable.
Oh, God. I haven't even looked at Ursus or Chromax in a long while, and I remember for a long while they were the top dogs of eBay in terms of the prices.
Yeah, Ursus is definitely more common on eBay. I hardly ever see Chromax.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really sure if he was short printed or something, or just people just don't want to give him up. I'm not sure.
I think he might be slightly harder to pull. I mean, back when I did the search for Ursus videos, which I only stopped doing because the freaking starter decks went up in price from the people I bought them from. They were like $10, and now and then they jumped them up to like 30 for a bit. Now they're back down to 15, and I'm honestly thinking about starting it up again. But at the same time, opening 3 of them per video for $45 each. Well, total, I mean. It'd be like once a paycheck thing, especially with my current income. But It's something that I really like doing, and I think I pulled during the time period that I did that. I pulled every Super or Ultra except Chromax. Chromax is
Wow.
Oh wait, no! I didn't pull Call either. I forgot about Call. Call.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I forgot he was a freaking thing in that.
Yeah, and I see him on eBay all the time. So
mm-hmm.
I guess I'm not super knowledgeable about playing the game, but I guess he's not as good as the other ultras from that. So.
I'm not a fan of Call, honestly. Like, if I were to pick
Yeah.
one up, it'd be just for collection.
Uh-huh.
Chromax I'd actually slam in a deck or two, but Call, I can't see myself playing too much. The biggest issue I have of him is that he has kind of garbage energy, if I remember right. I think he maxes out at like 50 or 45, something like that.
Yeah, that sounds right, yeah.
And I don't remember what his effect is off the top of my head. It's been that long since I've actually read the card. But it's an okay effect, if I remember right. I'm going to Google it here in a minute. But back on the topic of your collection, you mentioned it's almost done. So what cards are you still missing?
I'm missing the 2007 Comic-Con Bluegon. And like right when I realized that card existed, one had just sold on eBay, and that's probably like, gosh, close to a year ago now, and there hasn't been one on there since. So, and then the other card is a full art Chaor, and if anyone knows how that was originally distributed, that I would love to know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's not even a picture of what full art Chaor looks like on like Google or anything. So it's like,
wow.
Yeah, I tried Googling it, Chaor 4, and I just got the renders from DeviantArt and stuff.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. So you're just missing the Bluegon and that 4 Chaor. And
yep, that's it. And I should, if I get those two, I should have 100% complete collection.
Unless there's something else that we don't know about. I'm sorry. I just put that in your mind. I didn't even. I mean, if you want to get technical, we do know that at least one Azil and one Malvadine's King's Herald were printed.
Yeah, we do know that. That's of course, but yeah.
I mean, who knows who actually owns them? For all we know, they could be in Brian Gannon's wallet, but we don't know.
Right. And hopefully, when Fire and Stone comes out, those cards will be released, and that's how I can get them. So.
Yep. Oh God, I just mainly want Thebsar and to know what the hell the dragons do.
Yeah. Oh, that is something I'm super excited about. Dragons. Everybody loves dragons, but coming to Chaotic, that'd be awesome, and beefing up the Mepedians. So, yeah, I can't wait.
I'm just mainly curious if they're going to be classified as war beasts and kept in that category, or if they're going to be something else entirely. Because, the war beasts, with the exception of the past one, because he's a dinosaur, they're all summoned creatures using magic and stuff. Or music. But the dragons, they're living, breathing creatures. Honestly, I don't think they should be classified as war beasts, but I could see them doing that. Yeah,
maybe they will, but my guess is that they won't, and they'll try to bring in some new mechanic. At least that's what I hope.
Yeah, it'd be really cool. I mean, considering that, back when I was a kid, I thought it was kind of weird that they were introducing more Mepedians with fire attribute, like with the fire element. But now that I know that they were going to introduce dragons to the game, I can only assume that they were doing the more fire Mepedians to kind of get ready for the dragons to be introduced, because I bet you any money the dragons would have fire and air or fire and earth, depending on the dragon.
Yeah.
And then Thebsar, I could totally see him having fire, air, and earth, just so that he can work with everything.
Yeah. No, that's going to be a pretty awesome card when it finally sees the light of day.
Oh my god, I can't help but get a little giddy at the thought of being able to finally have these cards that I've dreamt about ever since I was a kid.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that we get an announcement this month. Just any little thing would be awesome. Because you'll know when the game comes out, I'm probably gonna get as many booster boxes as I can carry. So.
Oh god, I am not mentally prepared, and neither is my wallet.
Oh yeah. But it should just be 100 card set if I'm not mistaken. Usually, like when there's a new block, the first set has like 200 plus cards, and then the 3 after has 100. So it should just be 100. So
yeah,
maybe I won't have to buy so much.
Yeah, that's my only real concern with starting at Fire and Stone from the get go, is that Fire and Stone was what, like the second or third in the Alliances Unraveled block. Yeah, it was the second one, and then third was Storm and Sea.
Yep.
So it's not meant as a starter set, which I don't know if I'm too keen on. I mean, I get why they would do it from a market perspective, because the cards. I mean, I think it's confirmed, but apparently there's a warehouse full of Fire and Stone boxes just ready to be shipped. Which also brings into question if they're going to do that. If that's true, all of those cards should still be printed with the codes and everything. So if they're just going to ship out those Fire and Stone cards, then well, they got to keep the codes. So I don't know. I mean, I know they're tossing around the idea of changing out codes or not, but
this is not going to be easy for them at all. Like, do you keep the codes? Do you not? Do you like reboot the game? Do you keep it the same? Do you reprint the old sets? Like, none of us know. So I'm really interested to see how they answer those questions.
Yeah. Personally, if I was in control of the brand and everything and deciding how everything would go, I would drum up hype for it like a full year in advance. Like, let's say they're planning to do it, let's say they're planning on releasing it like 2021 or something like that, okay? I would start off with like a big announcement. I'd bring the game to every major convention, Comic-Con, I don't know what the other cons are, but every con that I can think of.
All the other ones, yeah.
Showing up there, like just going everywhere to show off everything. If it's still doing the online thing, I'd also show up at like tech cons and everything, show off like the online system, the gaming aspect of it, like show up at E3 and stuff. I would also put the entire original series on Netflix, Hulu, Amazon. Okay? The 3 biggest streaming sites, I'd put them on there, and I would either see about just... I would hate to do it, but honestly, for copyright reasons and legal reasons, we would have to take down the Platonic Master rips, and I would put the entire series in full HD on YouTube. Just to be able to... Because, in this binge-watching culture, people really want to just be able to sit down and binge everything. And so, by putting it on every major streaming site, minus Twitch for obvious reasons, it'd be fully accessible and easy to get to. On top of that, for the diehard collectors like us, I would release the entire original series on Blu-ray. And maybe include a free card inside too, kind of like how Yu-Gi-Oh! Does that.
With the movies.
And heck, I know Chaotic even did that for the few DVD releases that we did get. Like, I think you got a starter deck or something along with the DVDs.
Yeah, actually, I think I have this box. Let's see what it is.
I see them on eBay all the time for cheap, and I'm so tempted to get one, but I'm like, I don't know if this is even a real thing.
Yeah, it looks like it's a A starter deck with episodes 1 and 2 of the first season.
Oh, just 1 and 2? Oh.
Yeah.
But still nice having a actual DVD quality of it and not the rip of 4Kids.
Yeah, right.
And so I would do all that to drum up the excitement for it. Then, bringing back the game, I would release 3 mega sets. 3 mega sets. These would be a combination of the first 3 blocks. So you would have Mega Set 1, which would be Dawn of Param, Xeno of the Hive, Silent Sands. Then Mega Set 2, the 4 Morellian Invasion sets, and then Mega Set 3, which would just include the Alliances Unravel cards. Along with, obviously, starter decks and stuff. So these would be just kind of getting the entire card pool back out there. My own, and I would do it like once every like 3 months. I'd release the first one in like January, second one in like April or May, and then that way, so that by the end of the year, you're fully ready to release Fire and Stone.
Right.
Yeah, because then you're able to reintroduce the game to new players. You're able to get everything out there. You don't have to drag out the relaunch from the get-go, and you can reevaluate and change mechanics to kind of fit things. Because, ideally, as much as I really like the codes, I would scrap them and put like QR codes in every pack so that then you get a free pack online or something. Because unfortunately scammers are rampant online, and I don't remember what the card game is that Negative Legend mentioned in his video, but I don't want to see Chaotic die due to a bad secondary market.
Right. Yeah, they're definitely going to have to change something with the codes. But I know some people don't want them to reprint the old cards like, big collectors, because it's going to devalue all your cards. I don't know how true that is because, think about Yu-Gi-Oh! When a card is reprinted, the value of the original goes down, but Legend of Blue Eyes White Dragon is worth way more than any reprint that has ever come out. So my thought is the cards that I have are all going to be first edition,
yes,
and the reprints are not. So therefore, my cards at least retain some of their value.
Moreover, certain printings of cards can be totally different prices, crazy. Like, for instance, Legend of Blue Eyes White Dragon Blue Eyes is not the most expensive version of Blue Eyes. That honor goes to so there's a video game for the Game Boy Advanced called Dark Side of the Duelist or something like that. No, Dark Side Duels, that's what it is. And that game, you had a random chance whenever you bought it, you'd get one of like 3 or 4 random cards. 2 of which would be Blue Eyes or Dark Magician, and then the other 2 was like Salamandra and some crappy trap card nobody cares about that I can't remember the name of. DDoS, Blue Eyes, and Dark Magician are both insanely expensive because of how rare they are. No, wait, DDS, that's what it is. Dark Dimension something, I can't remember. DDS Dark Magician is like $250. DDS Blue Eyes is like $300 to $400.
Wow.
Yeah, and so the way I see it, I personally, as somebody who does collect Chaotic cards and everything, I would not mind one bit if they release the old cards. I actually encourage it. I don't think the prices you might see a dip for a minute, but the cards from the original version of the game are going to be collector's items. I would hope that they would not be legal for the revival, because then us, collectors who've been around for like ever, we will have a huge leg up compared to new guys coming in. So, ideally, I would hope that those big collectors would not have to worry about their cards going down in price, because if anything, they might go up. because people are going to see that and be like, hey, I want these original cards. You know, I doubt that they're going to keep the exact same designs for the new version. I doubt they're going to keep the exact same backing. There's no way they're going to be the exact same.
Yeah, I seriously doubt it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I don't mean to like dominate the conversation.
No, you're good. You're good.
I get off in a tangent.
But honestly, like I can't really be mad at anything they do, like because the game's going to be back.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just hope that they've got some smart people behind it. I mean, obviously they did back in the day, since its popularity was, rivaled Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon, at least the trading card game.
Oh God.
So hopefully they know what they're doing, and they're just gonna get this thing back on track.
Yep. I feel like they do. Ganon's a smart guy. Dragonix is a smart guy. I'm sure whoever they have working at Epic Story Media are all smart people. So I'm sure this game's in good hands, and I'm sure it's not going to go the way of the Kaijudo.
No, let's hope not.
Oh God! As long as Wizards of the Coast does not touch this game one bit, I think it will be fine. Wizards of the Coast only knows how to work Magic. Every other card game they've tried fails.
Yeah.
Dude, have you ever actually seen how bad they blundered Kaijudo? Like, Jesus, it's so bad.
I'm sort of vaguely familiar with all of that, but I'm not exactly sure what happened.
So, Kaijudo was a relaunch of Duel Masters. Duel Masters, back when it first came out in the 90s, or the early 2000s, I should say, actually, was seen as nothing but a Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic clone. The anime was literally a Yu-Gi-Oh! Ripoff, and the actual game is a weird mishmash of Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic, but with some other mechanics. I've also heard that apparently it was designed as kind of like an easier Magic to get into, because Magic is a bit of a complicated game. But however, anyway, so due to all that, the game failed over here in the West. That, and also there's some other issues, but too much that I don't know. But Duel Masters is actually like one of the most popular card games in Japan. It still is. It still gets new cards. It's constantly topping the sales charts, and they are over in Japan. The big three is Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, and Duel Masters. I don't know how popular Magic is, but I'm sure it's up there too, so they might have a big four over there. But Duel Masters is arguably even more popular than some of them in some aspects. So, of course, people over here still want to play it, and Wizards of the Coast likes money, so they wanted to try relaunching it. And they botched the relaunch so bad. First and foremost, the card stock is not great, like one bit. The TV show was completely different. They didn't bring back Shobu or any of the other characters that people liked as a kid. They went in a completely different direction. Due to licensing issues, they couldn't name it Duel Masters, so they couldn't keep the original name. They changed it. That's why they changed it to Kaijudo, or like monster fighting. And on top of that, the sets and cards in general were horribly unbalanced. By the time, so on top of all that, God, sorry. There was no form of card control. There was no ban list. There was no set rotation. No nothing of that sort. And unlike Chaotic, where our cards have inherent restrictions, like, loyal, unique, etc., there was none of that. So it was free reign for everything. This, combined with really just not well-designed sets, resulted in Tier 0 format after Tier 0 format. When the game was like in its downtime, where like they were like pretty much like nobody was playing because it just wasn't fun to play. There was a deck that was out because there were these little guys that were like 2-drop mana cost guys who, for very low cost mana, could basically summon big end game boss monsters that you would normally have to like set up across like a good 40-minute duel to summon for free. And the game was just, it got ridiculous, and locals started implementing their own ban lists and stuff like that in an attempt to try and save it. Wizards of the Coast eventually, though, instead of trying to save the game and, implement a ban list or set rotation or any of that sort, and personally, I hate set rotations. I hate them. I really do. I think that they're just an easy cash grab. I like ban lists. That's my jam. That being said, anything was better than nothing. It was complete anarchy. And so at the last big tournament, Wizards basically announced that, hey, or I don't think it was at the actual last big tournament, but they announced that that last big tournament was going to be the last big tournament, and that they were canceling the printing of the last set, but everybody who attended the tournament got a code to use for the digital version to basically get the whole pack, the whole set for free, along with like all the other cards in the game to play for free online until they shut down the server sometime later.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah, that's an extreme Cliff Notes version of what happened, and I don't know everything, so if you want to know everything, I think Negative Legend did a video on it, but that's just going off of my rough memory.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want Wizards of the Coast touching this game at all.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't even come close to touching it.
God. And then you got all the issues with Magic going on too, and that's just a whole other can of worms. So, yeah, Wizards of the Coast, stay far, far away from Chaotic.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully, I can get back into actually playing the game, because I've just kind of been a collector only.
Yeah.
Past few years, because I don't know anyone around even close to me that plays the game. So, and I've never played on Untap or any of those places where the Discord people play. But I don't know anything about the meta or whatever. So
I honestly
hope I can get back into that.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I honestly don't either. I have a bunch of decks sleeved up and ready to play because I got my best friend into Chaotic. He's not interested in collecting the cards. He does like to play though whenever he's over, or whenever I go over to his place. And he's interested whenever the game comes back, but he doesn't really want to drop money in a game that he's not going to be able to play except for when we hang out. So
yeah.
And then I did get some of my other friends interested, and my locals. One of the guys who works there says that if I teach him how to play, and if the game really looks like it's gonna be come back and everything, and if I can get other people interested, he'll talk to the owner of the store and see about getting packs and stuff once the game comes back.
Wow, that's awesome.
I hope I can. I'm gonna do everything I can to get this game, to regain its popularity.
Earlier we were talking about this, and the name escapes me again, this program, to be a part of, to help advertise the game.
Yeah, the ambassador program.
Right, the ambassador program. Yeah, hopefully, everyone listening to this and all the Discord people will all just, be a part of that, make videos, spread the word, and then even if, they don't let just anyone in for whatever reason, just freely promote it.
Yeah, I know personally, regardless of whether or not I get to be a part of the ambassador program, I have every intention of promoting this game as much as I can. Chaotic was a huge part of my childhood, and I want nothing more than to see it succeed. You know.
Yeah, it was like my absolute favorite thing from my childhood, which is why I kept collecting stuff. So
yeah,
I'll also try to make videos and do stuff on social media, whatever, to promote this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for the record, I encourage everyone to, consider doing a channel and everything if you want to. I've seen some other people be in the comments like, "Hey, I'm wanting to start a channel. What should I do?" Etc. Etc. And I know I recently gave Musa Rudd a pretty big shout out in a video because he's been doing a really good job. The dude edits his videos really well, and I can't help but feel like I'm a bit lazy when I see him doing that.
Yeah. His videos are great. I highly recommend subscribing and watching all of his videos.
Yeah. He does giveaways like every other video, too. It's crazy. Like,
yeah, that's awesome.
God. I thought about doing giveaways, but, like, my thing is, like, I don't know, like, giveaways have a bit of a sour taste in my mouth because I've seen way too many people use giveaways as a way to boost subscribers. And I don't feel like that's what they're... Me personally, I see doing a giveaway as a way of giving back to the community.
Sure.
I wouldn't have my channel, any of my 3 channels wouldn't be even remotely as big as they are. And I'm not a big YouTuber or anything, but they wouldn't be where they are without the community. And I don't... that's why I'm honestly so hesitant on doing giveaways because I can't help... They have a bad taste in my mouth due to everything.
Yeah, that's understandable. Yeah, there's been a lot of controversy and problems around giveaways on YouTube channels. So, yeah, it totally makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, heck, there was this one YouTube channel who would just do nothing but giveaways to just keep gaining subscribers. Like saying like, comment, share, and subscribe. And okay, look, if anybody ever tells you to share to do a giveaway on YouTube, they have no way of seeing. I'm going to be 100% honest. We have no way of knowing if a person shared a video or not. So you could get away with it. The only way I could think possibly to do it is to go onto Facebook, on like the person's Facebook or something, and confirm if they shared it. But
right, then, that would be a hassle though.
Yeah, and not everybody has a Facebook or Twitter. Or,
right. Yeah. Right.
I was about to say MySpace, but who uses MySpace? Oh God. God. So yeah, and heck, same thing with liking. There's no way to actually wait. No, there is. You can click onto a person's profile and go to their liked videos, but even then, they can make it to where nobody can see what their liked videos was. So
yeah, right. Yeah, it just seems like a hassle. Yeah, it should just be a very simple process for giveaways for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever will do one, but I'm definitely gonna look into it one of these days.
Yeah.
So, speaking of like Chaotic as kids and stuff, you were before we started recording. You said that like Chaotic was really popular where you live at and stuff when you were a kid.
Yeah, trading cards were a huge part of when I was growing up in the early 2000s. And the biggest games that I remember are Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, and Chaotic, and they were pretty much equal. And honestly, for a short time, Chaotic was probably more popular than those other 2 card games. At least where I'm from. Yeah, there was kids trading and playing just every day, and I think the website was doing pretty well back then. I think their sales were doing pretty well. But yeah, it was a hugely popular game back in the day, and I hope that they can, even obtain half of their popularity they used to have.
Yeah, it was crazy popular in my area too. So, fun story with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I moved at the end of 4th grade up to the city. I used to live out in the middle of nowhere in the country, and moved into the city. And I was at an elementary school for 1 year and 1 year only. That was 5th grade before going to middle school and all that. And in 5th grade, about halfway through the first, actually, yeah, I'd say the first semester before winter break and all that, Bakugan got super big out of nowhere. Everybody had Bakugan.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted Bakugan, and it was crazy. It was also my first time ever getting swept up into a social trend. And so, but my parents were like, no, we're not going to go out and buy you a stupid toy and yada 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 when it's not your birthday, yada. Meanwhile, no joke, a friend of mine, I don't know where he is now in life, but he had to making himself an entrepreneur. He would get his parents to go out and buy Bakugan for him, and then he would go and take them and sell them at recess to other kids, and then he would flip them for double the price. He was,
that's awesome.
He was like a freaking. He compared himself to being a crap. I probably can't say it on YouTube, but being a seller of certain things that cause you to see things and all that, and
Gotcha.
Yeah, he was comparing himself to being somebody who sells and deals all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And it was crazy how big Bakugan was. I could go on for about a good hour about it, but what was even funnier, the instant we all got to middle school, Bakugan dropped off like a rock, and a different thing took its place. Chaotic.
Right.
And I remember, God, I was I was probably 2 or 3 months into 6th grade, and I remember getting up early to watch cartoons on a Saturday, and they had a commercial for Chaotic, and I was like, oh, that looks really stupid, because the commercials were really stupid. With the really bad CG and the kids the first one I remember was the ones where they were running through an airport or something like that, and yeah, and it was it was really stupid. But the idea of playing online piqued my interest, especially since I was obsessed with RuneScape at the time, and I had always wanted to play a card game, but up until then couldn't do it. Because growing up in the boonies, nobody played Yu-Gi-Oh! Nobody played Pokemon. Heck, I didn't even know how to play Pokemon. I just collected the cards.
Yeah.
And so, went and made an account and fell in love with it instantly. I'll never forget that my first pack was a Zenith of the Hive, and I actually pulled a super rare out of my first pack. It was arguably, looking back on it, one of the worst attack cards ever, but I thought it was so cool because it was a 20 attack card damage. It was an attack card called Infight.
Yep.
It's a 4 cost, 20 damage, and then it does something if both players are playing Danians. I also remember my first card was the Underworlder Ornithor, because he was the first card in that pack. So he has a special place in my heart. Never actually used him in a deck, though, because he's kind of garbage, but, never forget your first card.
Right.
My first Yu-Gi-Oh card was a dinosaur called Urabi from, the second or first set. Yep.
Yeah, I remember, the thing that got me to start collecting was I watched, the first 2 episodes. That was all that was out. And I went grocery shopping with my mom, and my parents generally didn't just buy me a lot of stuff, but that one time she bought me a pack, kind of same as you. I knew it had online capabilities, made an account, logged in all the cards, and just fell in love with the game. And it was funny enough, the second pack I ever got was Zenith of the Hive, and I pulled an ultra rare Strike of the Meek.
Oh, dang.
So I kind of started off lucky pulling cards, and I've had some pretty good luck since then.
Dude, I had very mixed luck with chaotic packs. I have crap luck with Yu-Gi-Oh! I'll be 100% honest, but my luck with chaotic as a kid was also mostly garbage. But obviously, I can't really say I don't have good luck now because I have pulled some crazy stuff behind packs.
Yeah.
But I remember my first ever Ultra was Iparu Jungle. Not a good Ultra to start with, but hey, it's better than nothing.
Right.
And then I remember... so me and my friend would always go to Target to buy packs because there was a Target right down the street from us. And his mom was super nice and would just buy us packs and stuff for no reason sometimes. Basically, anytime that I hung out at his place and she had to go to Target, she'd usually buy us a pack or two. It's just like hey, thank you for coming along. And yeah, and I remember seeing the Dawn of Perrim structure deck, and I was like, whoa, never seen one of those before. So I got it, and I didn't think anything of it because I didn't know you could pull Ultras from the set out of that. And got home, opened it up, pulled a Heptad out of it with max energy.
Wow.
And my friend was immediately like, dude, give it to me now, and if I ever pull a Blastotan, I will give it to you. And I'm like, no, you have worse luck than me. Why would I ever do that? And he goes, dude, because I wanted a Blastotan. That was my thing. Mepedians up until Morellians came out were my favorite tribe, and I wanted Blastotan. And I pulled a Heptad, and I was like, no, that's my first good Ultra. I'm not trading it. Not going to give and he got mad at me. So I went ahead and entered it in and everything. Thought everything was fine and dandy. No joke, the next freaking day, he calls me, and he's like, dude, I pulled a Blastotan. I'm like, no, you didn't. You're lying. And he goes, no, really, I did. And sure enough, later that day at school, he showed me he pulled a Blastotan. It had minimum energy, but it was a Blastotan. And I'm like, okay, I'll trade it to you now. And he goes, no. Because I would have given the Heptad earlier. So he was not going to trade it. And I was like, dude, we could even trade online. We'll trade in person. There we go. And he goes, nope, you want to give me the Heptad? I'm not going to give you the Blastotan. So... yeah, I never actually owned a Blastotan until after the game died well later.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that was a card that I wanted to pull so bad, and I never got it either. But I remember I got my cousin into collecting and playing Chaotic, and he asked for cards for Christmas. And he had watched like the whole show. He was really into Overworlders, and the very first thing he pulled was Maxor. And I remember watching him open that, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" But then his luck from then on out was complete garbage because we would buy like 40 packs or something, and then split it 20-20, and I would just pull like 3 or 4 Ultras, and he would just get nothing, like every time we did it. So I got to a point where I was pulling duplicates and giving them to him because he just could not open a pack and get anything good.
Oh, God.
But,
oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, so there's a second part to that story of the Heptad. So I was so desperate to get a Blastotan that I was willing to do anything for it. And my actions actually caused the moderators to go and make a big forum post about not giving people a trade for a code. I was a very stupid kid, so I went onto the trading forums asking for a Blastotan, and I was like, hey, I got this max energy heptad. Will anybody trade me for a Blaziken? And I even remember stating I did not care about the stats. I just wanted a Blaziken. And I get a message from a guy. He goes, hey, I have a code for a Blaziken. I can't put it in for some reason. So if you want, you can trade me to Blaziken for my Prince Medinu, and I'll send you the code for the Blaziken on a private message. And me being a stupid kid thinking people don't lie on the internet, said yes, and went through with it. And he did keep his end of the promise. He sent me a code. But it wasn't a code for a Blaziken. It was a code for a freaking... God, I don't even remember what. It was some ugly looking overworlder. I can't remember what. It was not Yakis. As much as that would have pained me to think about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was mad. I was like, what the hell? And so I demanded he give me the card back. To do a trade back. Because you can still trade a card as many times as you want online with until you put it in a deck and it gets locked. So I mean, he just wouldn't respond. So I contacted support, got no response. Sent them another message, got no response. Sent them another message, still no response. I was also a very impatient kid. I sent them like 5 messages within like a good 15 minutes, and eventually they sent me a message saying, "Sorry, we can't do anything. Just learn from this and don't do it again." And they actually went and made a post on the announcement forums saying, hey, I don't remember the exact wordage, but it was basically, hey, don't be stupid and go and trade a card for a code. I think it was Blargers too who made it, so I must have gotten him mad.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I was such a stupid kid.
Yeah, I wasn't on the website just a whole lot. Like, we didn't have that great of a computer; it could barely run it. But I remember I would have the worst luck with trades on there. My favorite creature is Kaor, and I tried everything to trade for him, and I never ended up getting him. So when I sort of got back into collecting, he was the first thing I bought.
I don't blame you one bit. First thing I bought was a Blaziken.
Yeah.
I actually still have, so my third Ultra that I ever got as a kid was a Kaor, and I still have him. I've had a few people offer to like trade for him and stuff, and I ain't ever getting rid of him. I was a stupid, again, I was an idiot kid, and mad that I lost my heptad, I gave it to my friend thinking, oh, nobody plays in person, there's no reason to keep the card. Not knowing that, like, barely 2 or 3 years later, the game would be dead, but, so I just gave it to a friend of mine, and so I didn't have any big ultras until I pulled Kaor a little bit later, and still have him, never getting rid of him.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's... I know that a lot of people say Donna Param is the worst, or Zenith, as far as, like, cards that are playable. But I think Kaor is actually playable. I'm pretty sure he's pretty powerful card.
Yeah, I would say that out of Donna Param... The two that immediately come to mind, I mean, I'm sure there's at least a few others, but the two that immediately come to mind that are still playable is Maxor and Kaor. They both have good stats. While they don't have the greatest of effects, Kaor has 3 music counters, and that is a godsend, since I've noticed Underworlders don't tend to have a lot of music counters. And, Maxor just has really good stats overall.
Right.
I mean, yeah, sure.
Maybe a Lord Von Blute, maybe?
Oh, yeah, Lord Von Blute would still be a good card, I would say. I mean, obviously, generally speaking, their enhanced versions later on are more optimal in a lot of decks.
Yeah. Sure.
But like, you know, in a few decks that I've messed around with for like Underworld, I found myself preferring old Kaor over Kaor to Fierce because I want those music counters, and I wasn't focusing on I'm gonna make it to where I have a 25 damage fire 25 Kaor.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's still a reason to play Lord Von Bloot and Maxor in certain builds and everything. I mean, heck, for one thing, Maxor has like 70 base energy, something like that.
Yeah. It seems like they had like 3 cards that were just like way overpowered compared to everything else in that first set.
Mm-hmm. They really did Tangiff dirty. 20.
Oh God, he's horrible.
I remember
25 energy, something like that.
Yeah, isn't it like 25 is max or is average? I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember. It's either 25 or 30 is his max.
Yeah, like holy crap! I remember seeing him as a kid and thinking, "Wow, this card is so good. He has fire and earth and good stats." And
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure why they made some weird choices there with Donna Perrin.
Yeah, and I guess their logic was that he can heal himself, but like he gets one time he can do that, and it's not like heal to full. It's healed by 10.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's heal, not gain, so you can't even make him 35 or something.
Yeah.
And then you got Takenam, who's throwing a fireball in her artwork, but no fire.
No fire. Yep.
She had fire in the show, though.
Yeah. So, what cards that like didn't get a reprint would you really want a reprint for?
Oh God. Just about everything from the last 2 sets, for one thing. I guess that's cheating, though. So, wait, by reprint, are you talking about just a reprint of the card, or are you talking about a retrain where it gets a new effect or whatever?
Yeah, like where it gets a new effect, like Max or K, or got later versions and whatever.
I'd really like to see an upgraded Blaziken. Like, in all honesty,
yeah.
I know that like in the more popular builds of War Beasts, Blaziken's not typically preferred. I mean, unless you're doing a old school War Beast build where you got like Blaziken with Killer on and like one of the other ones that has Wind and Earth, probably Uberon or maybe Ninrin with like an Earth Shard or whatever. But other than that, God, just about all the big popular ones got retrains.
Yeah, Madrin's got like 4 different versions.
Let's see.
He's got High Muge of the Lake, Fluidmorpher's Foe, Younger, and then his Donna Perrin. So yeah, I think he's got the most.
Yeah, he's definitely up there. God, that's tough. I mean, I've always had a bit of a special place in my heart for oh crap, what was his name? I just had it in my head. Crap.
What tribe?
I was thinking of a Morellian, but oh wait, no, Raftab had a retrain.
Yeah, he did.
God, hang on, let me check my binder. I just threw it across my bed too. Darn it.
For me, it's Dracnus. For some reason, I have always really, really liked Dracnus. Like, his artwork was just so much different, and I thought that he was pretty cool in the show, like the 2 times you see him. But I definitely want a Dracnus reprint.
Yeah, Dracnus. You keep throwing me off calling it a reprint.
Yeah, sorry. My terminology's terrible.
Yeah, a reprint is taking the same card and printing it a second time. A retrain is what you're thinking of, where you take the card and then make it again. Oh wow, I thought Maxor had 70 energy, but no, mine's got 55, so I guess 60 would be
his max is 60. Yeah.
Yeah, I could have sworn that was. It's KR who has 70. That's right.
He might have 75.
Oh yeah, that's right. Mine has average. See, I don't have everything memorized.
Yeah, no, I don't either, but I just happen to know those.
God, that is a tough question. My God, I don't know. I totally forgot I bought a Zealed like forever ago. I saw one for like $10. I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah, back when I needed like I don't know, 10 or 15 more cards, Zealed had not been on eBay for like months, and for some reason I could not find him. And the other one was what is it? Copond High Muge. That one took me forever to find.
And
then once I found him, there was like 5 that went up on eBay. So
yeah, it seems like he's on eBay all the time nowadays.
Yeah.
You know what always confused me as a kid? In the TV show, at one point, Cass says you can use Sealed as a battle gear, and he uses it as a battle gear. And apparently, that's an idea from the original version of Chaotic with Now or Never. There were certain creatures that could be used as battle gear in addition to being a creature, and Sealed was one of them. I guess it was something they wanted to use in the current iteration as well, but never went through with. And that's like early on too. Sealed's from the first set. God, to kind of just go with Raph Tab getting a retrain as well. I think a Benabaku would be a cool one to see a retrain for. I remember being a kid and seeing the 2 ultra rare Morellians and thinking, holy crap, those are so cool.
Yeah. In the future, that tribe definitely needs some kind of buff because, as from what I hear, they're not the greatest tribe to use.
Morellians have some moments where they're pretty cool, and they have some strategies that work really well. And my Como's damaged. How did that happen? But however, I mean, I'm trying to say this in the most unbiased way possible because I could legitimately do like an hour-long video on why Morellians are good, but they really kind of aren't. The Morellians, for the most part, are super squishy. They don't have a lot of health, unless you're talking about the Karels. They tend to have a good amount of health, and even then they get really beefy with the shards equipped. But the biggest thing that really made Morellians hard to build a deck around was that they have too many mechanics, if I'm being 100% honest. You got the brainwashing mechanics, so you got all those options, but most of them are really bad, so nobody bothers with it, because generally speaking, with very few exceptions, the brainwashed effect is worse than the regular effect. Then you got the whole shard system. That tends to be the fact that shards only give super buffs to Karels, meaning you have to play Karels. And then most Karels are super situational, especially with the original ones, because the Karels from the first set that they appeared in all had counter effects to the 4 main tribes, which would be kind of a cool idea if there was siding in Chaotic, but there's no such thing as siding, so you can't choose which Karel you want to play whenever your opponent's like playing Danians. Oh no, you have the Karel that counters Mepedians, so hey, now you're kind of screwed with that. And then you got the fact that initially Morellians were designed not to be able to use Mujic, and the Brainwash versions would only be able to use generic Mujic. But then you come out with Fluid Morphers, who for the most part are pretty broken, in that they just keep gaining Mujic counters, but then the Mujic is offset with how the Mujic costs so much, which is a balancing measure, obviously, but also makes it to where even for their most basic of Mujic, it takes a while to really get going. Oh god, sorry, you could get me going on this rant for a long while. There's other people who could explain it a lot better, but really, Meroians shined at their best when being used with other tribes, rather than being used as their own thing or focusing on their own mechanics. Like, I know...
I gotcha.
Yeah, like, for instance, Erdak, I think it was. There's an FTK with her and a Mepedian scout who can give everybody that your opponent controls range. And so basically you just give everybody range, and then Erdak kills everything that has range. So you would initiate a battle, basically stall by using super small damaging water attacks to get Erdak to 10 Muja counters, I believe it was, to be able to use her nuke effect. And then you would give everybody range with 2 of the little Mepedian guy who gives people range. And then you get rid of the 10 counters, and boom, you win.
Wow.
It's actually, I think they actually banned some of the cards that were part of that combo because it's so easy to do. Because basically just that dude, the little Mepedian dude, I can't remember his name, he's a scout. I see his picture in my head, but I can't remember his name. He starts off with like 2 Muja counters, so you just give him, so you just have 2 of them. You give them both Balladeer's Flutes. You tribute off the Balladeer's Flutes the instant the game starts. Battle starts. You stall out, do 10 attacks, give or take. Effect of the dude, give everybody range. Effect of Erdak, nuke the board. Yep. It's pretty stupid. Other than that, there's the Ayin focused builds, and thunder. And Ayin is the more is my favorite way of doing it. Because if you flip over Ayin, you win.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then there's also the builds focusing on the heat cannon. I forgot all about that. You know, that's something I really wish they would have tried out a bit more with, was alternate win conditions, but it's kind of hard to come up with ones for Chaotic. Sorry, I went on like a huge rant there.
No, you're good. You're good.
Oh, God. Yeah. You know, speaking of alternate win conditions, would you like to have seen more alternate win conditions? And can you think of any? Because I honestly have been trying to think of how they could initiate more of them into the game, but I have no idea.
I mean, I can't think of any, but I mean, why not? If they can do it, why not? So
yeah, I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh has like 50 different cards that have alternate win conditions, and
right.
Magic has an uncountable amount. I don't know if Pokemon has any. Oh wait, no. There's a stadium that has an alternate win condition. I don't know what it does though. I can't remember. I remember a friend telling me about it, but I don't remember what it does.
Yeah, I've hardly played any Pokemon, so I wouldn't begin to know. But yeah, our Yu-Gi-Oh definitely has a good amount, and of course, all my friends always try to use them. So
yeah. A friend of mine tried to get me into Pokemon. I couldn't get into it. It's my thing.
I love the games. You know, I love like Gen 3 is probably my favorite. Love the games, but I cannot get into the card game.
For me, it's a tough pick between Gen 3 and 4 for my favorite. I played Emerald like 5 times over as a kid, and I put almost 500 hours into Diamond as a kid. I'm not even joking about that. Before my game broke, I had like 498 hours into Diamond.
Wow.
And then like another 80 into, I think like 40 into Pearl, and then another 80 into Platinum. I had no life or friends as a kid, so it was games all the time, every day for me.
Yeah.
Oh, it's... sorry.
I recently played through Shield. And, I mean, I would say that I'm pretty disappointed. I don't know if you've played through it.
I've been personally refusing to buy Sword and Shield because of everything that went down with Game Freak. Personally, the Dex cut, you know, if they gave a better reason, I'd be fine with it. But they said, oh, it's animation reasons, and then the animations, with the exception of like the new attacks, are pretty much the same.
Yeah.
You know, I don't mind a dex cut theoretically because they did do it with Gen 3. You know, I don't know if how many people noticed, but like Ruby and Sapphire, they actually removed the Gotta Catch 'em All logo from the games because it was literally impossible to do so because they couldn't transfer everybody over. And then it was with Fire Red and Leaf Green that they were able to finally have everybody in the same generation again.
Yeah.
And, you know, if it was something like that, I'd be mostly fine with it. The only thing is that, you know, Game Freak has built up this idea of transferring your Pokemon from one game to another. I have my Charizard that I had when I was, like, 8, playing through my first time on Leaf Green on my copy of Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Or, I can't remember which one it is. Yeah. I've transferred him from from Leaf Green to Diamond. I transferred him from Diamond to, I think, Black and White, and then I transferred him from Black and White to Sun and Moon because I skipped out on from Black and White 2 and Soul Silver Heart Gold. And then I transferred him from that to sorry, did I say Sun and Moon? X and Y, and then transferred him from X and Y to Sun and Moon, and then once again to Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. I can't remember which one I have, but I have all my Pokemon that I've gathered over the years for that. And the mere thought of not being able to transfer them over to Sword and Shield after I get done with the main game, especially since Sword and Shield have very short main games and next to no post games, I don't know. Now, I know that they also announced the DLC recently, and that 200 Pokemon are going to be added back in, 100 of each DLC. So, my hope...
For $30, you can get what you should have gotten already.
Yeah. It really does feel like that they cut content out of the game to do it.
Yeah.
And I can't support that, personally. It's like with censorship. I don't want to support anything with censorship, and I cannot... And I cannot personally support what Game Freak did with that. Now, if a year from now they come out with a definitive edition where you pay $60 for Pokemon Sword Definitive Edition that comes with like the DLC in it already, I might pick it up then. But I can't, in good conscience, support this because I really, it really does feel a bit like they're going down the EA route. And I don't want Game Freak to turn into EA. You know, thinking that they can cut out content and sell it back to us later, like they did, like with what EA did with Destiny and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, like the game, you know, was incredibly short. I beat it in no time. And then the post game took, I don't know, 2 hours, maybe something like that.
2 hours?
Yeah.
I knew it was short. I didn't know it was that short. Jesus.
Yeah, it's pretty short. Like, you just do a few, like, Dynamax battles, and you face the weird hair guys that show up at the end, and that's it.
God.
There's, like, a battle tower or something. I never did that, but, you know.
Jeez. Come a far cry from being able to find random legendaries out in the middle of nowhere. I'll never forget playing Diamond and accidentally stumbling into Giratina's cave.
Oh, yeah.
And then, no joke, Giratina took me 3 hours to catch. I'm not exaggerating one bit. I went through every Pokeball. I got him down to 10 HP. I went through every Pokeball, and I had some timer balls, and from what I've read, they were equivalent to like super mega great balls, basically, by the time that like it was getting towards the end of the 3 hours. It got so bad that Giratina started using the move Struggle, that you know, the move that they do whenever they have no PP to be able to do anything, and he killed himself, and then I had to do it all over again.
Oh, of course.
And I mean, that was after like the first hour, and then the second time around, it took me another like hour and a half, and I finally caught him. Like, oh my god. Jeez. I have so many memories playing the Pokemon game. I never actually played the card game, other than when a friend of mine tried to get me into it.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite gaming series.
Mm-hmm.
Put a ton of hours into it. It's super fun, to play with friends and trade and all that. But yeah, good stuff.
Yep. I'll never forget with Diamond. Big part of the reason why I was able to play for so long was the action replay and just messing around with all the different stuff of that. And that's actually what ended up breaking the game because I did something really stupid.
Yeah.
But I remember I was at a friend's sleepover, and keep in mind, this was like maybe a good 3 months after the game came out, Diamond and Pearl and all that. And we were all playing Pokemon Diamond and Pearl and playing, battling, trading, goofing around in the underground. And all of a sudden, one of my friends' friends goes, "Hey, do any of you guys have an Arceus?" And we're all like, "What the heck is an Arceus?" And he goes, "It's the last Pokemon in the Pokedex." And we're all like, "No, that would be..." I don't remember who else is, but that'd be the other Pokemon. There's no such thing as Arceus. And he goes, "Yeah, there is. It's in the Pokedex." And we're all like, "You're an idiot. It doesn't exist." And he goes, "Yeah, it does. It's right after Darkrai and Shaman." And we're like, "Darkrai and what?" And he had used an action replay to unlock the full Pokedex, which meant that so that meant he had Darkrai, Shaman, and Arceus in the Pokedex before they were even announced or anything. And we were all like, "What the heck are these things?" And then we started trying to figure out where they are, and one of my friends went and hopped onto my friend's computer. My friend went and hopped onto his computer and Googled it, and we found out how to get to Darkrai, and so we all caught Darkrai, and then we all caught Shaman after that, but no one knew how to get Arceus. God. I don't think I've ever had a moment like that since, where like, wait, what?
Yeah.
It reminds me of people talking about how back with the original Zelda, they would talk about like, oh, where all these different hidden items and locations are on the playground.
Mm-hmm.
I never had that experience, and that moment with Darkrai, Arceus, and Shaman was the closest I've ever had to that.
Yeah, like every now and then, one of my friends will be like, "Hey, let's all play through Gen 1, and we'll all like some of us will do like Fire Red, and the other half will do Leaf Green, and then we'll play through the games and complete the Pokedex, and then a few months later, hey, let's play through Gen 2." So
that's so cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Unfortunately, I don't have any friends who are really into Pokemon nowadays. Most of them really aren't. A friend of mine tried to start a Pokemon D&D campaign like 3 months ago with everybody, and we only got together that once and haven't done anything since.
Huh.
Yeah. We spent like a good 3 hours designing our characters, deciding on what Pokemon we'd get throughout the adventure, and then everybody had to go home, and we haven't even talked in our group chat for it since. It's so pathetic. It's like every time we try to start something, we give up on it.
Yeah. Yeah, another thing I'll do every now and then is like we'll get 4 or 5 people, and we'll try to just like play through a game. Like I'm a huge Zelda fan, so most of the time it's like, hey, let's beat Wind Waker, and so we'll start up Wind Waker, and then like one person will do like the opening, the second person will do the first dungeon. We just kind of rotate. That's another thing that we really like to do.
Reminds me with back when I was a kid, like my main game that like me and my friends would play all together was Ratchet Deadlocked, and if we weren't playing split screen, we were taking turns playing through the single player.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Alrighty. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think we pretty much hit on everything. Kind of start talking about video games and stuff, but
I mean, hey, why not? I mean, heck, me and Jay got off on completely other topics.
Yeah, I love talking about that stuff, but yeah, I'm just super excited for the comeback. Hopefully, we'll get an update here in the next few weeks. But yeah, my favorite game's coming back, so talk about it anytime I can.
Yep. God, I can't wait. It's like a dream come true. I remember I went up to my locals to kind of just I don't even remember what I wanted to do really, because that whole day when Brian Gannon made that tweet is like a blur. I remember I went up there just to go, and I think I wanted to buy some cards, see if anybody else was up there and stuff. And I sat down and was goofing around on my phone, went onto Twitter, and first person to pop up was Brian Gannon. And, you know, I've been following him ever since I joined Twitter and knew he was on there. Dude never tweets, like, ever. And whenever he does, it's about sports. And I don't really particularly care, but I still follow him because, hey, he's cool. And the just the sight of Maxor in his tweet, I felt my heart skip a beat. Wow, that rhymed. I didn't even try. What?
And I think, didn't you make a video that day saying like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so excited" or whatever?
I did, and you know, I'll be honest. I faked that screaming reaction and everything, but that was my basically real reaction at my locals. I got so excited, I jumped up, screamed "No way!" and accidentally threw my phone halfway across the locals. Thankfully, nobody was in there other than like two guys playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And the guys at the counter who are all like, Did Jesus just come back to life or something? Like, what the hell is going on? And I'm like, because I was yelling, because I yelled, "No way, it's back!" And I was like, I had to keep myself from just screaming, like, yeah. And once I got back home, nobody was home. So I was like, okay, I gotta get this out. So I actually booted that up, hit the record, and I was trying to think of something like witty to say with it coming back, and I couldn't. And it was like all those bottled up emotions just came out, and I couldn't help but scream at the top of my lungs.
No. When I saw that tweet, I mean, that's the most excited I've been in a while. I was just, I was freaking out too. I was like, "Holy crap, is this real?" And then A Game had that interview, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh, this is happening."
Yep.
So hopefully soon.
Yep. I can't wait. It's gonna be awesome. I don't know what shape the game's gonna come out back in. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but there's so much that I really hope they do. When the game died, they were just starting to expand on the lore too. They released a novel. A freaking novel, The Kalarian Sphere. I have not read it myself. I want to pick it up, but I am like scared to read it because I know it ends on a cliffhanger. Somebody told me, and we will never get that second book. It was supposed to be like the first in a trilogy or something like. And we were finally getting expansions to the lore. We got the Ultimate Guide to All Things Chaotic, which has so much detail in it in regards to the lore, and I love lore stuff like that. So,
I mean, people talk about the card art is so good and the game's fun and all that, but yeah, the lore is like top notch.
Yeah. And heck, Calorian Sphere has so much stuff in there because, you know, the human element is totally removed. So it's just all about the characters in the, like, it takes place before the series starts, but after the Marillion War. And so you get a lot of introspective looks on the creatures of Chaotic and how they view their world. Like, something that I always found kind of weird, but also really interesting, and it is like with the Marillions, because in the Calorian Sphere, there's the oligarch at the time, a female, I don't remember her name, sends a spy up into. I don't know how he got out, too. Like, if they could get that spy out, how come they couldn't send everybody out? Plot holes, but I guess they answered that in the book that I haven't read yet. But so she sends them out and everything. But whenever I've only read this one passage because somebody sent it to me, like, "Hey, you like Marillions? You probably will like this." And I was more disturbed by it, but it was still interesting. And that was so the passage is from the book, and it's from the perspective of the spy as he goes into the throne room for the oligarch, and there's a good portion of it describing what the female oligarch looks like, and they go into rather odd explicit detail on like what about like how sexy she is and what Marillions find sexy. And I'm like, what the hell?
That's
like
bizarre.
Yeah, like her beautiful tentacles and her illustrious silver eyes or something. I can't remember. It was a and I'm like, what the heck? But at the same time, I'm like, oh, I mean, you know, that, like, how? I mean, like, if you look at like all the tribes and everything, you know, and how like actual species looks, like every species looks mostly the same to each other, you know. But the tribes of Chaotic, they all vary differently from even the members in their own tribe. And that made me wonder, just like, wait, how does that work?
Yeah.
You know, like, looking at, like, a Baku and an Ain, how would that work?
Yes.
Oh, God. I'm sorry. I tend to think about... Whenever I get into lore stuff, I tend to question things that I'm like, what? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't want to know the answers to some things.
I don't know either. I don't want to either. I really don't, but I can't help but ask those questions. It's not a question I want answered. It's just a question that I can't help but ask. Like, what? Oh, God. You know, like, that reminds me of another topic, though. I would love to see them try and tackle a video game again. You know, I have not played Shadow Warriors. I have it for PS3. I want to find a recorder for a PS3 that is easy to work with, because PS3 has really strong anti-piracy systems that makes it near impossible to record on. And I really want to be able to do a Let's Play for the channel, playing through Shadow Warriors.
Yeah.
And reacting to how bad it is.
Yeah.
Because I have not played it. I remember seeing about it as a kid, thinking, wow, that's so cool, I want to play it. And then I remember G4 gave it like a 2 out of 10, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, like, I remember when they announced that there was this game coming out, and like my mind just went to like, okay, so you're gonna be able to like create your own character, explore Param, scan these creatures, go to the drones, fight people online, and then it was this weird turn-based, piece of garbage. So,
I would like. So I'm a JRPG nut. I love RPGs. I love turn-based RPGs. A turn-based chaotic RPG could, in theory, work. Shadow Warriors is not how to do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think most people were expecting something along the lines of the TV show, where like, oh, you can make your character, go to the drones, explore the world. I've seen people talk like, oh, an MMO would be really cool. Personally, I'd love a fighting game, a 2D fighting game, like made by the guys who make like Dragon Ball, crap, what is it called? Dragon Ball Fighters. And Blaze Blue, Guilty Gear, Arc System Works would be amazing for a chaotic fighting game, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, like I don't mind turn-based games. Like my head just didn't like jump to that when I heard the game was coming out.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Who knows what they're gonna do? I know they're thinking about VR and stuff, and that'd be cool, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have... Sorry.
I was just going to say, I mean, only time will tell how they're going to bring it back, what other... they're doing games or books or whatever. So.
Yep. I'd love to see them pick up on the books again. That'd be so cool, especially just picking up. I'm sure that somebody, like that the author has like the draft of the second or third book somewhere on his computer or something, so that'd be cool to see that go again. The book is super cheap on Amazon too. I need to really buy it one of these days.
Yeah, I need to pick that up as well.
It just bugs me when stuff ends on a cliffhanger and then never gets resolved.
Yeah, sure.
Like one of my favorite manga series had a novel series to go along with it, and then the English translation team, the English translation company, I should say, Tokyo Pop, went bankrupt a month before the final volume of the novels was going to be published, and like 15 years later, there's still no sign in anywhere that that final volume is going to get released.
Yeah.
So, yay, cliffhangers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
or like they cancel Firefly after a season.
Did they?
I don't know if you're familiar with that show.
I've heard of it. I heard people really liked it.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and they just like canceled it, and so.
Wow. Jeez. Well, we've been talking for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say before we wrap this up?
No, I'm just, hopefully everyone's going to get on board with pushing this thing, and I hope the game comes back full swing.
Same here. Well, guys, this was the Chaoticast. God, that rolls off the tongue so well. I love it. I thought about it on a whim on like what the name was. Originally, I was going to title the first one just Chatting with J Goods, and then I was like, wait, that'd be stupid. I got to come up with something, and then I was like, Chaoticast, and I just typed it thinking, hey, that sounds kind of catchy in my head, and I never actually said it.
I like it.
Rolls off the tongue really well.
Yeah.
So, guys, that was Chaoticast, episode 2, technically speaking. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you all for watching. Connor, any last words you want to say?
I don't think so. I think I've said everything I wanted to say.
Alrighty. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. Peace out. Thank you all for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please consider rating, commenting, and subscribing to my channel. It all goes a long way to helping out me and my channel. And also, if you do, please consider following me on social media, as well as also checking out my other channels. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. Peace out.